Hello everyone, this is my channel, Right on the Edge, and today's video is going to be about the Don't Say Gay bill, which is a horribly named bill, but the real name is HB 1557 actually, and I just wanted to do my first video on this because it's really relevant to today and what's going on today, and also it's just the coverage on it's been absolutely ridiculous, so it's kind of a really good intro video to kind of like show what I want to do with this channel, which is get kind of delegitimize the gatekeepers and the so-called experts in their fields, right? And I'm gonna just kind of show you, explain to you what it is. We're gonna read through it just quickly, and then we're going to just kind of show some headlines, because this is it's actually pretty sickening. These people, these media politicians, these experts, they are embarrassingly corrupt, and they are liars, and at worst they're trying to groom our children. So so bear with me right now. This is my first video, and I'm having a fun time remembering to look at the camera. So anyway, let's get going here. All right, first I'd like to show you the bill itself. So let's just go through this. Just really quickly. So basically, what you'll read in a lot of the news and the media is that this bill is a ban on LGBTQ plus alphabet people and their lives and their personhood, right? Now, what this actually is, and you can see right here, is basically most of the bill is just giving parents their rights to their children. Basically, that's most of it, and you'll see right here, in accordance with rights of parents rooted in section blah blah blah, adopt procedures for okay, one second. So they should adopt. So the school, according to this bill, the school needs to adopt procedures for notifying a student's parent if there is a change in the student's services or monitoring related to the student's medical, emotional, or physical health or well-being from the school's ability, and the school's ability to provide a safe and supportive learning environment for the student. The procedures must reinforce a fundamental right of parents to make decisions regarding the upbringing and control of their children by requiring school district personnel to encourage a student to discuss issues relating to his or her well-being. So anyway, this is basically like what's going on in a lot of schools is mental health. They're seeing psychiatrists, and they're getting hormone treatments and things like that. I mean, it isn't happening widespread yet, but this stuff is happening. So basically this section saying parents need to be notified if there's any issues regarding health or well-being of the child. Extremely non-controversial. A school district may not adopt procedures or student support forms that prohibit school district personnel from notifying a parent. So there's some laws that actually will say that in some school districts, there's some mandates, laws, rules will say that parents or the teachers in the school can actually not notify the parents because it could be dangerous, because a parent is concerned that their little child might be getting brainwashed into some sort of gender ideology or super far left ideology, right? So they actually try and make laws to keep parents out of it by law, and this is pretty much saying you can't do that. Classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in the manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. Okay, this is the section that's getting a lot of clout in the media. And basically what they're saying is it's too vague, because it says it is not in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. So I will agree with them that this is kind of vague, but it makes perfect sense, and it does say kindergarten to grade 3, right? That's 5, 6, 7-year-olds, okay? I have a son who's 5. He doesn't understand who he is. He is Superman one day. He is Batman the next day. He is Hulk the next day, right? He is playing with Barbies and he wants to wear a dress because he makes me laugh the next day, right? These are little children. They don't understand this stuff. So what this is saying is a 5 to 6 to 7-year-old doesn't need to be taught sexuality, right? You keep that out of them. They don't need it. They're innocent. They don't need that kind of crap, right? They're not gay. They're not lesbian. They're not even straight. They're asexual. My son is not a straight or gay or bisexual or whatever non-binary crap, right? He's just a kid, right? He's not sexual, and he stays that way as long as I can as a dad. That is one of my jobs as a parent, is to make sure that he retains his innocence as long as possible, right? So this is extremely normal. In fact, I would say that if you want to teach a child sexuality at this age, there's something wrong with you, right? And a lot of these people, they are upset that they can't indoctrinate your child about gender ideology and sexual topics and then not tell you about it. Like, do you understand? Like, even coming out of my mouth, that sounds disgusting, right? Like, an adult wants to talk to your child about sex, about gender, and be able to not tell you about it, according to whoever opposes this bill, right? So basically, that's like the key point. Most of this stuff is just giving the parents the rights, right? At the beginning of the school year, each school district shall notify parents of each healthcare service offered at their student's school and the option to withhold consent or decline any specific service, right? So it's parental consent, it's rights for the parent, right? So the next thing I wanted to just go through quickly is just the headlines, right? This is CBC. I'm in Canada. This is our network, our government-funded network. It says here, Florida legislature passes Don't Say Gay bill to restrict LGBTQ topics in elementary schools. The topic, right? See, so this is the headline. So the vast majority of people on Twitter, social media, Facebook, they're reading this. That's all they're reading, right? So what does this read? This reads that Florida passes you cannot say gay, and it restricts gay rights in elementary schools. That sounds weird, because the bill, as we just looked through, that's the end of the bill, right? It has nothing to do with restricting speech or gayness. In fact, it doesn't even say that students at 7 years old can't discuss it, right? They can, right? All it says is that the adults in the room can't push it on them and indoctrinate them and teach them it, right? That's all this says. So you can see how biased that is, right? And the whole article is basically, it's actually, it does talk about both sides, but it's very heavy on the criticism, right? It'll show more quotes on the criticism, right? Then we go to NBC News, right? Don't Say Gay bill. Florida Senate passes controversial LGBTQ school measure. Same problem, right? Don't say gay. Well, that's not the bill. The bill is actually 1557, right? So they'll go through that. Basically the same shit, just regurgitated. Then you go to CTV, which is, again, Canadian broadcasting, right? Gen Z won't stay quiet on Florida's Don't Say Gay bill, right? This is from CNN. See, this is a headline saying, kind of, the wording is, hooray, like Gen Z is going to stand up for rights, right? And then it's basically talking about the protests, right? So it's completely biased, and it doesn't even approach remotely what this actually means, this bill. And then we go to ABC News. Don't Say Gay bill passes Florida Senate. Same thing. The bill would ban curricula concerning LGBTQ issues in some Florida classrooms, right? That doesn't actually, it doesn't do that. What it does is it says that your 5, 6, and 7-year-old can't be taught sexuality and sexual topics that they shouldn't be taught at that age, right? Especially without the parents' permission, right? that's what it bans. It does not ban them from talking about it. It does not ban them from being proud of it. It doesn't ban anything like that. All it does is say the adults in the room can't talk to the children about these topics, right? So the crux of this issue here is that we have a media, and we have a elite group, we have a government, we have these corporations, these power structures that are actively trying to take the rights and power away from the parents and the people, right? On many different topics, right? And I would go as far to say some of them want to groom our children, right? This is grooming. At that young age, to talk to kids about sex, that's what pedophiles do. Pedophiles will just talk to children about sex, like very innocently, right? And it grooms them, right? It gets them used to the talk because they're uncomfortable. You ever try and talk to a 5 or 6 or 7-year-old about sex, about deep sexual issues, even light sexual issues, anything? They're embarrassed. They're weirded out. They get squirmy. They want to get the hell out of the room, right? So what groomers do is they immerse children and young people into the topic, right? They immerse them, and it slowly ramps up, right? Ramps up more and more and more. This is essentially what they're doing in schools, right? And no, I don't believe that a lot of the politicians and the Twitter people, that they are actively trying to groom their kids. But what happens is you have a group of people that understand this topic, and they are dangerous. They want to groom kids, right? They create the language, right? Like the Bolsheviks and they want to create different language. So instead of talking about the actual substance, what they do is they'll change the language. Like, don't say gay, right? Oh, they're banning the word gay in Florida, blah, 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 blah. And then what happens is the useful idiots, right? The people that just follow the NPCs, if you will, they'll follow whatever programming from their side and their people. They'll follow that blindly, right? And so they hear about it, and then they see the hashtag don't say gay, and they see all these politicians, and they see all these media pundits and these gatekeepers and these elites talking about how they just banned LGBTQ and it's super dangerous for the LGBTQ and all this bullshit, right? And then they'll parrot it, and then it'll go viral, right? And then all of a sudden the narrative's kind of changed from, oh, it's actually a normal law that shouldn't even be a law because it's just common sense that you shouldn't be teaching little children about sex and gender, right? Like this is ridiculous. These are kids, right? And then that's just the first thing, right? And then the second thing is the parents have a right to know what is going on in the classrooms and what kind of information and topics are pushed, right? Are taught. And frankly, school isn't for teaching about sex and gender and politics, like political bias, political beliefs, right? It's for teaching an unbiased education, right? Like that's what it's for. That's what we want as parents. We want our kids to learn about history, about math, about science, about social studies, right? In a very unbiased way, which I know is impossible, but as best you can. So this is what's happening in our culture, and this channel is I'm really going to try to filter the information coming into this kind of way where I'm just a regular guy. I'm just a regular construction worker. I'm a parent. Filter it to you guys in the way that I view the world, right? And I mean, most of the people, here's the thing. You go to the bar, you go to a work site, right? I was a construction worker my whole life. You meet gay people. I had a lot of gay apprentices, gay friends, all this stuff, transgender people. The people on the ground, right? The gays and lesbians and the people on the ground, they don't like this shit either, right? But of course you don't hear that because it's not sexy. It's not the narrative they want, right? And so that's what this channel is, kind of what I want it to be, is a way to funnel all this information in a sensible, common sense way. I want to show you my work. I want to show you the proof, as I did today, right? And I want to also show the corruption in these industries, because the grassroots swell, right, that we need, a reformation, if you will, is from the ground up, right? The elites, the gatekeepers, the politicians, media, they failed us completely, right? And we need to expose them, and we need to get more voices out there. And there's so much information and news coming. It's very difficult to filter it all. So anyway, I'm done here. Thank you for watching. If you want to like and subscribe, that'd be great, since I'm brand new, and I'd love to get your feedback.